Hello again, and I am taking you to my garden patch again. I was thinking of another spiritual lesson, and I want to challenge you. If you have a garden, or if you're thinking of having a garden, or if you've had a garden, I can guarantee that you will be able to have at least one spiritual parallel in every single thing you do in the garden. So we're going down to the tomato patch. We didn't plant very many tomatoes because we don't really use that many. There is not a lot that we do with tomatoes. So usually we have way too many and we have plenty to share, but no matter what, we're always going to have plenty to share. So come along and take a look at this tomato patch with me. As you can see, these tomatoes are doing really well. They are very prolific, and the green tomatoes are coming on very nicely. We only have this small little row, although I will be planting some more probably at the end of the row. But the problem is I did not put tomato cages up, and I've always used these little small tomato cages, and you can put them in when you put the tomato plant in, or you can wait until not too long because you don't want them to get out of hand like this. Now, I've said I've always used these little tomato cages, and that is true, but that is definitely not the best thing to do. You can use those tomato cages. You'll also need stakes, and you'll need string to tie them up. But a much better way of doing it is to take some used fencing, or just a piece of this strong woven fencing, and make a circle with it and put that up around each plant. And now it's going to be very difficult to do that, although not impossible. So the spiritual lesson there is, if we take care of the things in our lives early on, it's a lot easier to handle it. If I had put those up when the tomato plants were babies, they would have gone very easily, and things would have just been a lot better. Whereas these plants are big, and they are going to be a little bit resistant to be going into the right place. Whereas if I had done them when they were young, they would have gone naturally into the right place. So I know we are all in different walks spiritually. Some of us are new Christians, and some of us have been Christians for as long as we can remember. Some of us have been born into Christian families, and our parents have been born into Christian families. But one way or another, we are probably not where we need to be. So it's a lot harder now that we have all this baggage and all these things that we have been doing going in the wrong direction are going to be a lot harder than if we had done it when we were young, when we were children. And what we can do now is we can't go back and redo what is done, but we can start from where we are right now, and we can decide to make good choices day by day to rectify the difficulties that we have got ourselves into. And though it's hard, it is not impossible. Watch. I'm going down to the barn, and I understand that there is some fencing down there, so I'm going to see what's available, and we're going to cut off sections, and I'm going to make round circles that I'm going to put around these tomato plants so that the rest of their journey, through the rest of the spring, summer, and fall, they will have the support they need, and the tomatoes won't be drapesing and dragging on the ground. Here we are in rainy Kentucky again, and I was going to do my tomato cages this afternoon. I found some cages in the barn which someone had given me. They are actually fence material that had been made into a circle, and they were flat packed. So we have to unflat pack them, make them into these circles, put them around the cages, maybe use some string to tie them together. But it started raining so hard, and it's already around 5 o'clock, so I'm going to just go on with my day and do other things, which I always have plenty to do. But the children are having a wonderful time playing in the rain. There's something very special about playing in the rain, and in Kentucky we certainly get to do lots of that during the summer. It's nice and warm. trampoline in the rain. Okay, we have had a lot of rain, the sun is out again, and we are going to go back to our little project of the tomatoes. But I want to show you what our intention was. It didn't really work very well, but we had wanted to plant marigolds so that not only for beauty, but also to ward away the potato bugs. So you can see we've got one coming up right here and a couple down there. They didn't really come up too well, but that is a good idea. Marigolds ward off bugs, so in the future maybe we can make that happen. The thing is that these potatoes are underneath the plastic, so they have so much warmth and so much moisture, they are just taken off like something else. So we have Carsten over here. He has got these pieces of fencing, and we're going to make them round again, and then we're going to endeavor to put them on the tomato plants so that the tomatoes can be kept very nice and fresh without drapesing on the ground and getting wet and soggy and rotten. As you can see, I have one of these cages up successfully. I have not closed it off because the plant is too big for it, so I'm leaving it open, and we'll use some string to tie up the branches. As you can see, it's about 4 feet in circumference. I recommend you make them a little bit bigger because really the tomato plants can get very big, especially if you're doing this method of gardening where you put the plant underneath the plastic. With the rain and the warmth from being underneath the ground in the plastic, the plants really take off. So they're going to be very big, and you need to make sure that your cages are big enough. There you have it. My 4 tomato plants, my big 4 tomato plants, have these cages around them that are going to hold them a lot better than regular store-bought cages. So you're going to need to use a little bit of string once in a while. And another thing I should mention with this type of garden is when you go to harvest, you're going to see some weeds sometimes coming out of these little holes. But instead of spending a long time weeding, you're just going to take up a few weeds once in a while, and it wouldn't take very long. Even if you were to do the whole thing in one day, it wouldn't take that long. But they also don't get too unmanageable. So it is definitely a blessing. And I am absolutely thrilled with the way this garden is turning out. So thank you, Jesus. Next time we will be talking about something else. Joshua, are you playing in the water?
I'm in the water. There's no water here.
Soon it's going to be time for showers or baths. Probably showers, as dirty as you are.
Mom, can I be in the baths?
You want to be in the bath?
Yeah.
Okay. It's fun to take a bath, isn't it? So you have fun playing right now. Soon it's bath time.